Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching the Party with Marty.
Yeah.
We're here to party with Marty!
There you are. You made it again to another episode of the Party with Marty podcast show. And this week, our special guest is I built up a little last week, didn't want to give the name, so you would try to guess what picture you were seeing, is here. And really, I want to get right to him without talking or opening too much, because when him and I get together talking on the phone, we look up and 2 hours have gone by like about 5 minutes. It's always a good time, and it's always very informative, like we like the show to be. Bringing in real quick the co-producer, hypothetically the best, Greek Savage.
Hey, what's going on, Marty? How you doing, brother?
Good, man. When you gonna get a haircut?
Another week, I don't know, hopefully before sometime next Tuesday. I don't know.
Do something about that beard, too.
I'll try. Leave my beard alone. Here's your boy right here.
There he is. So let's bring him on in. All right, the best, the Continental level, Addie Mansfield. Come
Marty.
on in, brother.
Marty, party with Marty.
What's you
happening,
doing, man? How you been?
I couldn't be better. And Savage, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, brother? Nice to have you here, man.
I appreciate it. So, Marty, I
Yes,
see
sir.
you're rocking and rolling again. I love it. Oh, my mercy, baby.
Yeah, trying to get it rolling again. I have some ups and downs. Usually the downs, I say usually because not always, but the downs are caused by me.
Are they the blonde or brunette downs?
Well, it was both. Problem was it was the same time.
Hey, well, that's the way you're supposed to roll, brother. That's how come they say party with Marty. Because you know something, the rocker and the lover get together, there's 6 in the bed. All the time.
The first time I was ever on the road with you, you remember St. Louis. And I was a nervous wreck because I was new. And we went up to that lounge bar at the Marriott there in St. Louis that all the boys hung out and all the people came to.
Airport.
Yeah. And I remember going in there. You was in there. And I sat with you. And there was a few girls over there. I said, Eddie, look, at least there's a few good-looking girls. A table full of good-looking girls over there. And you said, well, go get them, come over. I said, and you said, never mind, I'll do it. And you walked over there and came back with it. There was 3 of them. The 3 girls.
Hey.
And I was like, is this what the business is going to be like?
Yeah, worse.
Yeah, that was like one of the first days on the road, and that happened. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, I got to hook a brother up. I can't have you sitting there by yourself. It doesn't look good for your gimmick.
Not at all. Hey, you can't see the screen you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
You see what they got me wearing?
Yeah, you need to get a new wardrobe stylist. What the hell's going on with you?
Well, the hat is because I lost the bet. I probably should have listened to you. I think you actually, I should have listened to you in the Final Four. I don't even like Auburn, but I thought they was going to win the whole tournament.
Well, I told Charles Barkley last week, oh, Chuck, let me tell you something. I told him, I said, Barkley, you're going to die before Auburn wins a championship.
In basketball.
I said, you can pull all you wanted to pull, but it ain't going to happen. And I said, you should be embarrassed. I mean, they show up and they get beat. Auburn is not a big-time program. They're a bunch of jabronis out of Auburn, Alabama. Only thing they got running over there is cold water. That's it.
There's a lot of it. Yeah, they actually had Florida where they could have won it, and they choked, sort of like the finals with Duke choking. But
man.
But Florida's one of my three teams that I always go for in football. Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. That little triangle, and so I should have been going for Florida any damn way, but I just thought Auburn had a better team. But at least Florida won the whole thing.
Well, yeah, and I was telling my audio guy Jeff, and I was telling Jeff, I said, I got to go with Florida all the way, and I figured it was going to be Duke because Duke had the best team of anybody.
They're going to be back. They got a bunch of freshmen.
Yeah, but that flag's going to be going to the NBA. The only flag you're going to see is that Benjamin flagging out of his ass on the way out.
Yeah, that's true though. They got to wait for 1 year before they can go pro. Not even that in basketball. Well,
they're really pro now with that NIL. They're all getting paid. So Duke's got plenty of money. They'll buy the best team possible. Why not? Auburn, them bastards down in Auburn, they need to start buying some damn players. What the hell's wrong with that?
I don't know. They're falling behind on everything.
I mean, look at SMU. We were talking about SMU this year. They had a hell of a team. And they're the ones who taught everybody how to pay the players. Remember, they got busted. Well, now they got busted for 20 years. They couldn't, and people were still paying players. I mean, I always tell people about the SEC. If you ain't winning, you ain't cheating. So that's just the way it works with that one.
Pretty much, yeah, especially in football. But yeah, man, that was. I got to wear this hat now, and the shirt you got to leave the shirt alone, man. See what it says? Wrestling, because it's the only sport that requires two balls. Or no, it only requires, other sports only require one ball.
Right.
But so how you been doing, man? I know your Battle It Off thing is going wide, worldwide, doing great.
Yeah. We very fortunate with Jeff Taylor, my co-host, that and I'll give a shout out to my distributor Sports Byline, Darren Peck out in San Francisco. I did a lot of cow passes in my day, Marty Jannetty. So
yes, sir, I know.
I always tell that Darren Peck, I said, hey, man, you think you the man of town in Frisco? You might be the man with the dress walking around Frisco, but when the lover shows up, I'm the man in Frisco. And I used to enjoy San Francisco. Now it's a shithole, and I can't help it.
Yeah, I haven't been there so long, and which we see on TV with the homelessness and all the crap, and I think Nancy Pelosi's from there, so that tells you enough. But when you wrestled there, the Cow Palace was one of the greatest arenas in the country.
Oh man!
But in your day, there was still dirt floors, right?
Yeah, they used to. Well, no, it was concrete with covered with dirt for the rodeo, but
it was concrete under the dirt.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that, man. My dumb ass. Yeah, I mean, because we went out the first couple of years with WWF. It was dirt on the floor, and you get the ring. You had to almost wash your boots before you got in.
Oh my God, it's so nasty. It reminds me of Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth was the same way. You go up into Fort Worth, and they'd have us at the Will Rogers Coliseum, and that's where all the rodeos was. And they wouldn't pick up the dirt for the wrestling there, and we were selling that place out. But you get thrown out of the ring there, and man, it was like getting thrown on the beach. with all kind of damn with oil on you, every little sand stuck to your body.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate those kind of arenas.
Well, and you know where one was that I had several of my first matches with. I know I wrestled with you one of my first matches in St. Louis that time that we was just talking about. But before that, it was either you or Ted Oates in Dothan, Alabama. And that was
I didn't try to steal your damn name and change your damn name. I'll never forget my buddy Larry Matizak. That's who we were working for in St. Louis, Marty. He comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, he called Marty by a different name." Well, I didn't know you with a different name. I said, "Who you talking about? Marty Jannetty?" He goes, "Yeah."
It was Ted Oates. Marty Oates. They were calling me.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And that
One of those brothers.
a lot of money. I can guarantee you that. Believe me. But I told Larry, I mean, he's a Jannetty, man. Why you want to change his name and call him Quaker Oats? I mean, shit, the guy's got charisma. He can move in the ring. I'd be more than happy to work with him. And we did. We tore the damn house down.
Yeah, we did good. I mean, you did, because I was scared to death, and that was
well, you sure didn't show it.
Well, it was a what a lot of people would think is weird, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but for me, the smaller the crowd, the more nervous I get. The bigger crowd, you can relax because they're going to respond the way they're supposed to. You get like a couple hundred people in there, and you can hear every damn one of them bitching at you.
Yeah, but we didn't have that problem in St. Louis. There were so many people.
Well, no, that's why I got nervous, because it was full. I mean, I got nervous, but because I was scared. I don't know what I want to do with Eddie. What's Eddie going to do?
Just listen.
Yeah, and it went well. But it wasn't the crowd that scared me. I was actually it was great to go in and see a full building compared to the first 2 or 3 matches I had, which was two rows ringside. A little bitty. But I think everybody starts that way. But yeah, that was. Are you that way? Have you ever been in front of a small crowd? I mean, like real small.
When I first started, when I started, there was no indie leagues.
It was just territories, huh?
Yeah, you either could step it up or your ass didn't work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's as simple as that. And when I look at the indies today, the AEW looks like an indie. Their production sucks. Their talent sucks. They look like a small league. They're not a big time league. When you check the AEW, Tony Khan, if you listen to this show, you need to fire half them some bitches in that dressing room. You need to fire that kiss-ass Jim Ross, that kiss-ass Tony Schiavone. I produced that Tony Schiavone, the XWF, right? Hell, yeah. He put so much lipsticks on those ass-kissing lips of his, it makes you want to puke. But they need to clean house and get some real talent in there. I mean, they're all washed up, hemorrhoid-looking bastards. I mean, they're not going to draw any money. Look, they can't even draw 6,000 people. That's sad. I could draw 6,000 people by accident.
Their house shows I thought were doing good a while back, like a year or 2 ago. Maybe they just run their course.
They have to put some propaganda out because they suck. That's how. I mean, really, it looks like a real bad indie production.
I haven't even, I try to keep up with today's, work and where it's going, the business going, how it's working, and how it's so much like Hollywood now. The guys are in and out faster than you can remember their name. But I'm trying to keep up with it, and if at one point AEW looked like it was going to be the shit, like this might be competition for WWE, but then it just started softening up, and then it started fizzling. I thought it started fizzling about a year ago.
I can tell you what, if I'd have had that kind of bread with the IWF that I started at Universal Studios, first guy in the history of pro wrestling to do I had a production deal for 12 years with Universal. And I started with wrestling. Then I went on and produced some other shows after I closed IWF. But I scared the bejesus out of the WWE and the bejesus out of WCW because of where I was. And I made some great talent, Marty. I trained them all. I taught them how to talk.
I remember where the Smoking Guns came from you and a couple other. Yeah. I know the Smoking Guns because we used to talk about you a lot. Yeah. Van Dam. RVD. He opens up on my intro. He's the first one on the intro of my show.
Yeah, I'm going to tell RVD, what you doing, trying to kill Marty's show already?
He's been on it a couple of times. And one time I think him and Katie were out partying somewhere. I think he just won his case, whatever, or beat a case that he was involved in, and I forgot what it was for.
What is it for? His reefer company?
For who?
His cannabis company.
I don't think it was. I think it was somebody was trying.
He had a hell of a line of cannabis.
I think he still does.
Well,
I know
anyway,
he sent me recently. He sent me that cannabis oil, for your joints.
That stuff's good. He sent me some of that. I told him, send me some stuff that makes me high, brother. Send me stuff that, you know what I mean? It's like, hey. So I told, so Rob called me up and he said, God, he said, I should have listened to you. I said, don't ever say that. It's like, don't ever admit that. Just should have. But the guy he had, I told him he needed to watch the Jesse James hit the box office. And so he did. The guy he was in business with stole all his money in the cannabis.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Damn.
A little la West Coast bastard out of LA. You got to watch those some bitches out of Los Angeles. They'll take your firstborn from you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shame. He's such a good guy, to get screwed over like that. And he's very wise and very smart, and like you, he don't trust nobody. Donald Trump always said, "Surround yourself with the best people, but don't trust them anyway."
Well, that's key.
But yeah, man, he was. I think this was something somebody was suing him, like maybe even a fan or something. But you know what? I don't know, so I shouldn't even say nothing because somebody will take that and run to him and say, "Marty said you hit a fan."
Well, hey, Rob, long as you won, that's all gives a shit. We don't care about the details. Long as you got your hand raised, everybody's happy.
Yeah, right. Rob, I ain't seen him in a while. I don't know what he's doing right now.
He's in Vegas getting his mind right.
Oh, that's right. He lives there now. Yeah,
he moved. Yeah.
Yeah. Right when I moved out, he moved in like the next week. He calls me up and goes, "Hey, man, where's your place?" I'm in town. I live here now. I'm going to come by. I said, I moved last week. We missed each other by a week.
You go, damn, that's my luck.
Yeah, man. Gat.
He's a good dude, boy. And
RVD,
I always loved, something, Marty, when I first saw him in the ring, the Sheik sent him down to be with me, Eddie Farhat. And, and the original Sheik and myself were really close. I mean, he took me in like a kid, I was and didn't know. And I'll never forget the Sheik. He was staying with me in San Antonio, Texas. He came and do, tag with me to get rid of a couple, baby faces out there. And we were sitting one night and he looked at me and he goes, "Eddie, if I went back in time, I would have stopped doing all these shots for everybody else, selling them out when I should have stayed with my territory here in Detroit." And I told him, I said, "Well, can't look back. You can stop now." He said, "Well, hell, I'm too old to stop now." He said, I just got to keep going and, selling out, because he would sell out anywhere. You remember that? He put that crazy Sheik on there.
Oh, yeah. Well, he would come down here, man. We used to be scared of him.
Him and Spanky.
Yeah, Spanky used to scare us too because of that damn squeal. We're talking about. Well, that's what we called him down here in Georgia. Abdullah the Butcher.
Spanky.
He would Spanky. Yeah, he would give that. Hey, tell him what happened to your couch.
Oh, that fat son of a bitch. Let me tell you. It's so I was
can't call him that, man.
Yeah, well, hell, these 2 tons of fun. That big old wing action he's got hanging down there, but old Spanky comes over to my condo in San Antonio, and I left the key with the manager. I said, "Hey, Abdullah's coming over here. Just let him in." And I said, "I'll get him when I come in tonight." You know what I mean? Because I was flying in from Denver, Colorado. Because we had that out of San Antonio. We did Denver, Colorado Springs, and Pueblo. And so I got in. And about that, when I pulled in, it was about 5:00 in the afternoon when I caught that, because Denver was a straight shot to San Antonio, And so anyway, I got to my the complex, and I was walking up the steps, and the guy who does all my grass and all this other stuff, he goes, his name Jose. He goes, Mr. Mansfield. I said, "Yeah." He said, "That big fat guy?" I go, "Yeah." "What about him?" He says, "That son of a bitch broke your couch." I said, "No, he didn't." "Yeah, he did. And he gave me your keys." I said, "What the hell are you doing with my keys?" He said, "I got to get out of here because that Eddie Mansfield's going to shoot me."
You had a white leather couch too, right?
It was black.
Oh, black. Who had that white leather? Oh, that was.
I had a white leather too, and then I changed it out. But then I got a white leather after Spanky broke the black one.
He owed you, what did you say? It was $2,000 for that thing?
$3,200 for that damn couch.
I told him about it.
Big fat Spanky ass son of a gun.
I told him, I saw him, we were doing a convention together about a couple of years ago. And shortly after you had just told me that story, and I saw him, you know, and went and hugged up and all that. I said, hey, by the way, Eddie says hi. And he's like, oh, how's he doing? How's he doing, Marty? I said, oh, he's doing good, but you still owe him some money. I thought it was $2,000. I told him $2,000. So you owe him $2,000. He just looked at me. What all you have money for? I said, oh, you remember when you broke his couch? Oh, man, I thought he could fix that.
What am I going to do? Have a gallon and a half of super glue? I mean, come on, Spanky. He snapped. That big fat ass guy snapped that couch like a little toothpick. Boom.
He said, "You tell Eddie come by my restaurant. I'll feed him $2,000 worth of barbecue."
I don't want to go into that. It's like, oh Lord, it's Spanky something else though. He really is. I hope he gets his. Because his health got pretty bad.
Yeah, I think it's bad right now. Actually, I just heard something recently. He's not doing good. Of course, that could mean anything, I mean. Well,
he was just not ever doing just good. He was a little brick shy of a damn load, but it's okay. Spanky. Yeah. Boy, he had them wings. Oh, you remember them wings?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Boy, you were a baby face, so if he dropped that elbow on you, that fat would have smothered you.
Yeah. Oh, there was a battle royal once, and I just stayed away from him because when he would when he start getting the color, and you start doing that squeal, I mean, his higher pitch, a pig would have looked at him and went, "What the fuck?"
Well, his voice is like a high pitched little girl anyway. Hey, Eddie. This guy looks like a friggin' monster, and he goes, "Hey, Eddie, how you doing?"
That was like Leon White. We were talking about him. I think George and I were talking about him last week's show or the show before. But because they did a thing on the Dark Side of the Ring about him, and he was like that. They wanted him. In AWA days when he came in, they wanted to make him a babyface character. They wanted to make him, something. So they told him, "We're going to call you Leon the Baby Bull White," which I guess he had actually got that name in college from football. Because he was like a baby bull, right. The way he was built. But he was like, they wanted to come in, bull power at the very beginning of every interview in that deep, right. Feel you. And he would do that. And Larry Nelson being the announcer, he'd come in. Kurt Hennig would have his laugh. He goes, watch him turn real gay real quick. He comes in there and goes, bull power. How you doing, Larry Nelson?
Well, that's how come. Hey, that's how come Spanky never talked. He killed his gimmick.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
Yeah, but that Leon, he was a dick, man.
Paul
Orndorff told me before he passed away. He goes, "Hey, Eddie," I go, "Yeah." He said, "I whipped that fat sumbitch's ass," and he said, "Too bad I didn't have some damn shoes on. I was beating him to death and kicking him on my flip flops." He
That's
said,
what they said on the Dark Side.
Fat ass down the stairs.
Flip-flops going.
Yeah. And he said, I beat him up with my noodle, And so, but Paul was a tough dude, man. And
yeah, he was.
I
think him and Tony Atlas got into it one time. Or at least Jerry Oates told me that they got into it on the side of the road.
Well, that's a lie. Jerry told you that.
But they got into it. I think the story was that Orndorff ended up pulled a Mike Tyson on and reached up and bit part of his ear off.
Orndorff was tough, man. He was a tough dude. He was good in the ring though. I loved him as a babyface.
Yeah, me too. He's one of those I wouldn't mess with. Some guys you just know not to mess with. You can just some of them have a look in their eyes that you just look at it. Maybe I see de-escalate this.
Yeah.
And then some of them you can just tell, like Orndorff, it's not that look in his eye, it's just his overall demeanor.
Right.
And nice guy, super nice guy. But you just knew that wasn't the one.
Hey, you know what was funny? Was this guy come up to me, and I can't remember his damn name, Marty. but he was supposed to be one of them so-called tough guys.
Yeah.
And he says to me, he goes, "Hey, you know what I could do?" I said, "Nothing." And I said, "Do you realize that I spent 3 or 4 years on the road with David Schultz, was my tag team partner? There ain't nothing you can say to me or try to do to me. You ain't tough, man. You just sound tough. That's about it." I said, "I know what tough is. And I walked to better men to get to a fight than you. So just stop." You know,
Yeah.
It's like, hey, before I embarrass your ass, you know?
Yeah, that's what Ricky Morton used to say all the time. I'll walk over somebody to get to a better fight. I'll walk over you to get to a better fight.
Yeah. Yep, that's what you got to do. And Ricky Morton was a good hand too.
Super
And,
good.
Yeah.
I still see him around, man. He introduced me. Was a guy that had introduced me. I don't remember what it was, some type of Hall of Fame or something. This year, it was last year. But yeah, he's still getting out there and doing the conventions and hell. Somebody said he still wrestles here and there. He's got to be 67 now.
Well, he's doing wheelchair wrestling.
He would probably be the champion of it.
Yeah, he would. He wouldn't put nobody over.
Ricky, not in those independent shows.
No, it'd be Robert. Hey, Robert, you got to do that.
You know, it's
Hey,
a
Robert,
shame they don't.
Hey, Robert, I got you to pay that. You just take the fall. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody gonna see you anyway. You know what the hell?
They do shows together every so often. I did one with them in Chattanooga probably about 2 years ago. They fall out and then get back together and then fall out all the damn
Well, they
time.
like two women. They're just like two women. You know
Maybe
who was
that's
a
why I
great
love them
tag
both to
team?
death.
I do too. And what was a great tag team? And it's too bad they never ever got to the big time. Was Ricky Gibson and Robert Gibson together, the brothers?
Yeah, I never even knew
God,
about
I worked
Ricky.
against
I'd
them
heard about him.
at Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
Right before it went Southeastern, right before Ron Fuller bought it. And oh my goodness! And then Ricky died.
yeah,
And
I'd heard about him. I never got to meet him. I never even seen him.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
You think Robert Gibson's talented? Times that by 2.
Oh, really?
Oh, Ricky
Yeah.
Gibson had a drop kick. He could, his work reminds me. Ricky Steamboat and him work a lot alike, and
really?
they had that charisma kind of stuff. You either got it or you don't have it.
That's what I was saying last week.
Yeah,
on the
you
show
either
last
got-
week, we were saying that.
You can either put asses in the seats or you can't. And when I look at the AEW, they got nobody that means anything, as they say. I mean,
Why you so down on them?
Well, because they suck, and this guy's spending $100 million on a bunch of jabroni asses that can't feel. They keep listening to Jim Ross, who was a ass kisser of Vince McMahon, and Tony Schiavone, who kisses everybody's ass that he works for. So I mean, it's like you can't listen to two announcers that's never took a bump in their life.
That's true. They haven't.
I
like Jim, but
what do you like about
I mean, just in passing, like, hey, how you doing? You want a burger? You want to trade a burger for your taco or something? Shit like that.
Yeah, he looks like his face got stuck with hemorrhoid cream.
Oh, stop, man! He had a stroke or some shit.
Well, the way he's treated people, he should have had brain damage.
But I don't like how much power and control he gets. Like he had that at WWF and WWE when he was there. You had to. I remember one time when I was coming back, of the many times that I was, people don't know that I got fired a handful of times and then released.
No, not you, Marty. That wouldn't happen to you.
but I quit a few times too. I quit like 2 or 3 times.
Well, you should have just said, "Hey, I quit every damn time."
Yeah. Well, you can't fire me. I quit. Here's my notice. I already wrote it up.
That's what all of them mostly used to do. Them old timers, they go, "Hell, he didn't fire me. I quit."
Yeah,
okay, no problem.
But the difference between being fired and getting released. Not quitting. You quit. It's just like getting fired. You might as well got fired. The difference, well, at least with WWE, is when you get released, they're still going to pay you for 90 more days, whatever flat fee your salary was. When you get fired, it stops right then and there.
Yeah,
So
but you know what? You could always work the angle just like Vince would work the angle. Just get fired and take the 90 days and then go get you another gig somewhere else. But, the gigs are not too prevalent anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep expecting him to pop up. Some people thought he was going to pop up at AEW, but it don't look like it.
That rumor they got, it was all over the internet, that Vince McMahon buys TNA. That ain't going to happen. I mean, that didn't happen. So shut your pie hole, putting out bogus ass information. Vince McMahon didn't buy TNA.
TNA's been bought out, hasn't it?
Do what?
Wasn't it bought out a while ago, TNA?
Yeah, but they just had a thing on the internet where they said that Vince McMahon just bought TNA. No, he didn't just buy anything. I mean, why would he buy that crap when you start your own?
That's true.
I mean, he's got the knowledge and he's got the wherewithal. He could throw $100 million and not even blink an eye at it.
Right. But let's go back to AEW, man. I'm still surprised you don't like them at all. Not even a little bit.
Okay, I want to ask you a question, Marty.
All right.
You tell me why I should like that bullshit organization. Tell me
outside of WWE, that's it.
Yeah, give me 5 redeeming qualities of that company.
No, I can't.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
They don't entertain me. The characters suck. Their angles, their finishes are idiotic. Number 4, their production looks half-assed, and this guy's spending all this money. It doesn't look like a big-time promotion. I mean, it looks small. They shoot it like it's small. Well, if you're going to be bigger than life, you got to look bigger than life. Shoot the damn show. Just go. Hey, look, whoever's producing your show, Tony, tell them to go watch Vince McMahon on Monday night or on Friday night and put your damn. They don't even have big enough LED screens. You know what that looks like? When I watch that AEW, I don't watch it. I don't watch it at all. I watch it.
You're looking for production.
And I looked at it and I said to myself, dear God, who in the hell is putting this together? The LED screens, it looked like a real bad WCW production. And you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, well, I do. I mean, I had to learn about all the LED stuff and lighting and cams, par cams and all that when I tried to do that thing out in Houston about 20 years ago. I mean, all the production's a bigger thing. Like you said, the production means more than the wrestling if you understand that part.
Yeah, and you have people. When I did the IWF and XWF, I made sure that the matches were, 3 minutes, 3:30 with intro, say 3 minutes, where you got action, boom, 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 boom. It's nonstop, and what AEW, they're running their matches too long for television.
Oh, they're doing the long ones now?
Well, that's all they done. I mean, it's like they're trying to kill
like a
time.
House show match.
You can't do a house show match for television and draw money.
We shouldn't.
Well, you better listen to Eddie Mansfield because I know what I'm talking about. And there's one thing about it. You can't have a 7 or 8, 9, 10 minute match on television. You just can't do that.
Hey, we got the picture. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, before I was rudely interrupted, Marty, I was saying you can't hold people for 8 or 9 minutes in a match on television anymore. They just won't stay focused that quick.
Well, yeah, I mean, and if you give them a house show match on TV, then when are you going to give them at the house show?
Certainly not that.
Yeah, they already saw it. All right, what does it say though? Your the country guys, is that from your country show? We got that up on the screen.
Yeah, I had a huge hit where I produced and was on air. It was Mike Harvey and the Continental Lover. Well, I went to CL. It was Sizzling Hot Country, and we shot it at Universal. We did 26 half hours. It was nationwide and worldwide, and I had a huge hit with that. And now I'm going in the back. My next series I'm doing will be in country music because man, it's hot. And
there's money there. It's just ridiculous money.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna go get some of it.
They when last I saw you when both of us lived in Orlando, I think was around 98ish. And you had a country show then. It wasn't that one, was it?
No,
You had a long running one.
No, I think we did Sizzling Hot Country early in the 2000s. You know, like
okay, I might be thinking of that because you had one that was real successful for a long time.
Yeah, that was Sizzling Hot, and then I did coming out of that the Peabody nominated Kids in Motorsports, hosted by John Andretti. I had every major star, Kids Star and NASCAR. It was so funny. I went and met with the late Bill France and his wife Betty Jane over in Daytona. And I brought him a show of Kids in Motorsports because I wanted to get an endorsement from NASCAR. So yeah. I put it on, and he goes, "Wow, I love this show, Eddie." I said, "Well, thank you so much." And I said, "Just tell me how much I can get the NASCAR logo, how much it would cost me." He said, "Nothing." I said, "Why?" Really? He said, "You can use it, and I'll give you VIP to any track you want it." And he said, "Let me tell you something. Kids in Motorsports is a great thing for NASCAR's future because you're making these guys stars when they're young." One of them was on Kids in Motorsports was Eric Amarillo. I mean, he was a huge NASCAR driver, and I mean, we had some really big talent. Davey Millsap was #1 motocross guy. I had I shot 13 shows, and 10 of them became superstars out of that show. That's not bad.
Good. Not at all.
Kind of shocked me. So I said, "Man, that's pretty damn good."
Man, I really, there was one that you'd written up for me. It was Rocking with the Rocker. You remember that? And we was going to try to shoot that. And it had to do with kids, letting kids be introducing. I'd started out, or I'd be the host. And, we had Sylvester, you had some, what do they call it, committed to Sylvester Stallone and Shaquille O'Neal. I guess the 3 or 4 big names already committed for it. Mm-hmm. And but what we would do was I would open up and then throw it to a kid out in the audience or on stage or something, and the kid would interview him. And I thought that would be real good because I love working with kids. And I'll be damned. I think I went back to it was one of the in-betweeners. So you were like, "Come on, man, I'll put you to work. I'll get you in here in Universal Studios doing this." Right. And I was all for it, and then Vince called back and like, "Yeah, well, we could use you up here. We'll up your pay a little bit. We can get you to come on back." And so I got first love. I had to, ran back to it. And by the time that you and I got back together again, there was none of that out there on TV. Next thing I know, there's about 3 or 4 of them. They're different shows where kids are interviewing big time, Sylvester Stallone's and shit. And I'm like, that was going to be ours.
I got 2. The country music show I'm going to shoot in Houston, Texas, in the next couple. Because I'm in Orlando prepping now to go back to Houston, back home to the Woodlands, baby. And so anyway, all them fine ass Texas girls salute you, baby. And I can tell you one thing, that this show I'm going to be doing is going to be huge. And Tim Tuttle is my host. And he's won every country music award in the world. I mean,
what's his name? Tim Tuttle?
Tim Tuttle. Tim Tuttle.
I never heard the name. I just so out of touch with country though.
But he's
but I have heard that name.
Yeah, he's huge. And who I got coming on is going to blow your mind. And the title of the series is Stories Behind the Lyrics.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good.
Well, how many bars have we sat in and we start talking about, Tennessee whiskey? I wonder how in the hell that writer came up with that. What was he heartbroken? Was he just drunk or what?
Or who wrote it for him?
Well, what you do is you bring that writer on and interview him about writing Tennessee whiskey. Well, the guy, let me tell you, Marty, and all your fans listening, the guy, Dean Dillon, wrote Tennessee whiskey. The boy's from Knoxville, Tennessee, Marty. Yeah. And his real claim to fame was writing 10 #1s for my boy, George Strait. And I can't wait.
That's a pretty good resume right there.
Oh man, he's written some tremendous songs, Dean Dillon. That's where the money's at. I mean, you can tour all you want, but record number one hits and that's where the money's at.
Yeah. Yeah, sitting there and writing it. So give them something to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to change.
I'm gonna follow that up.
Okay.
I got another series. We're gonna do a 90-minute kind of biopic first. It's called Death of a Porn Star. It's true crime. It's true crime.
Okay.
And so it's going to be really interesting.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, that's going to be a hit show as well. Both of those two are going to be really hits because they're kind of franchise shows, what we call franchise shows. And what a franchise show is something that is just, you just don't shoot one of them. You shoot multiple times with that series. And that's what excites me because it's going to be really cool. From country music to porn, that's a hell of a swing, ain't it?
Hell yeah, it is. It's going to be fun doing. Hey, Eddie, what is this? We got this picture up with you sitting there with the yellow cups. You're signing one?
Yeah, that's the mouthing off koozies.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
And, I see it now. I couldn't see it. This picture.
You know, we have 4.5 million listeners every week.
Yeah.
And just in the U.S. And then we own 168. We're in 168 countries overseas with mouthing off all over the world. And we talk sports. I get into a little wrestling with the WWE. I don't cover AEW. I don't consider that worthy of my time.
God damn. Something went wrong. You went over to help them. Something went wrong.
No, I don't know anybody at AEW. I mean, they need my help, Marty. If he was smart, he would hire me to run the damn show because I'd fix it quick.
They may not know to. You might have to talk to him. There's old Eddie in the ring right there. Can you see it, Eddie, the picture?
Yeah. I guess.
How long ago? Where is that at?
I don't know where that was. The ropes look like Texas.
The what?
The ropes look like a ring from Texas.
You can tell from the ropes.
Yeah, because I used to be on them damn ropes like a spider monkey. And yeah, I love San Antonio. You know, Scott Casey and myself, Drew, we sold out everywhere with Southwest Championship Wrestling. And I drew that's me with the international heavyweight belt there.
Oh, that's international. What was that through? Texas or somewhere else?
That was Texas and Detroit.
Oh, okay. Well, what was out west when you was out there? It's the Cow Palace.
I was in Los Angeles. I had a hell of a run. I was America's heavyweight champion, America's tag team champion. I was everything in Los Angeles. I was a star in Los Angeles.
That was based out of LA. Y'all just hit like that, San Fran, other places.
Yeah, well, I had a hell, and I loved LA. I was a dumbass for leaving. I don't mind telling you. I listened to Ron Fuller. He come out there and begged me to come back and help him save his damn territory. And I listened to that crap. And I should have stayed in LA. I was a man in LA. It was the Eddie Mansfield Hour. And you know who gave me that gig? Was that's me and Rocky Johnson, the late great. That's the Rock's father, Rocky Johnson.
That is the Rock right there.
Well, it wouldn't be no Rocky without that Rock, believe me.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Too. Rocky was one hell of a damn guy in the ring. He was the first black guy. He was the first black guy ever that could draw whites and blacks all the time.
Yeah. Well, he could talk that talk and walk the walk. You know?
Well, he had a drop kick. It was like through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like a damn, he was, Fast Eddie. He was fast Rock there. Rocky, because he was, boy, he could throw a hustle out.
Well, let me tell you, we were going to do a biopic, and I had us a deal out of New York, and we put a deck together and everything. I'll send you that deck. It was really good. I got us a $4 million deal on a biopic for Rocky Johnson, and that was with a company, Trifecta, out of New York. They're a big distributing company. And we're going to shoot it, and and we were working on it when Rocky passed away, and that was just so sad. Yeah, because we had the deal done, we had everything done, and they didn't want to do it after Rocky died. I said, well, I don't blame you. I got nobody to showcase. Right. And so Rocky, and I had a great opening. We were going to shoot it at the Hard Rock in Orlando. Yeah. And the opening, and Kid Rock was going to host the whole thing. It'd been Kid Rock asking him and other people questions, but I had him opening up. The opening of the show would have been Kid Rock, Hank Williams Jr.
Hey, we was going to get Junior. That's one country.
I had both of them. I had both of them already. Then there's a big rain curtain on that stage, and then they bust down. I'm a soul man. Do. I'm a soul man. Do. About that time, Rocky Johnson bust out of that rain curtain. Then all three of them. I'm a soul man. Then you go to cover Rocky. Doing his stuff in the ring, boom, 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 and then you fade out of that opening right into the big lights on the round. The lights come up. There's Kid Rock and Rocky. Boom, that's where the show starts.
That's good, man. I'd like to see that.
Oh, it would have been a great biopic. And Rocky was cool. Rocky loved country music.
Yeah, he loved a little bit of everything.
What do you think The Rock gets it?
Yeah, that's what I've often told a few people. Hey, I'm just a product of his dad. I mean, he's a product of his dad. Could talk too. He just didn't get the opportunity, I guess, when he was with WWF. I don't know.
Him and Atlas were the first black guys,
black tag team champions too. Yeah,
mm-hmm. And he was proud of that.
Yeah, those two brothers right there. What bodies they had, right?
Whew. I mean, that's unbelievable. Those guys were put together, and they both could work.
You know what I always think about Rocky? That's working out in a strong mofo. We were in Kansas City. He came over.
Hey, excuse me, Marty.
Yes, sir.
If the United States needed enema, they'd stick it in Kansas City.
I liked Kansas City, but I often tell this too, and you know this. It's the only place in the country where you're in the metropolitan area, downtown, skyscrapers, right? And you get in your car and go one block or maybe a block and a half, and there's cows out in the pasture.
You know what I told Bob Geigel? I went into Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
And I had just left Tulsa with George Scott, and they begged me to come in Kansas City. And so I got my first paycheck, and I'll never forget. I went to the office the next day, and I said, Bob Geigel says, come on in, Eddie, come on in. And I said, hey, Bob, I just got to tell you, if I'd have brought more money, I could have stayed longer. I said, I really like Kansas City, and it's really cool, but I got to go. I said, I'm giving you my notice. He said, well, how long's my notice? I said, today. I'm leaving in the morning.
Well, I don't know. I came right out of Columbus from working with North American Van Lines. My biggest paycheck I thought was good. Driving a tractor trailer truck, right? And Jerry Oaks called me, says, "Hey, what date could you think you could move out to Kansas City and start wrestling? Full time, not a spot show here, a spot show there." And I was like, "Give me 30 minutes." And I did it. And so I drove up there to Kansas City and made it 19 hours from Columbus, Georgia, and wrestled that week. When they were all amazed, like, he didn't even, did you put gas in the car? But I got my first paycheck, and it was like $450. We worked 6 times that week for 6 days. I had $400.
Yeah, and drove 4,000 miles.
Yeah, about that. I remember the rundown. It was Wichita, which was 200 to get to it, 200 miles back, so 400 that day. Topeka wasn't bad. Topeka was every Tuesday. It was about 70 miles back and forth. Wednesday was Lincoln, Nebraska, and that was about 180 to it and 180 back. Thursday was Des Moines, Iowa, which was right at 200 there and 200 back. And then every other Friday was St. Louis. That's when I would see you, saw you there, St. Louis run. And that was like 230 or 40 miles right down I-70 and back. And then the spot shows.
Jet in there.
What's that?
I took a Delta jet in there in the St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how music. Yeah. Well, and the Von Erichs, Kerry would do that sometime. He would fly in. He was from wherever he came from. But
hey, I can tell you a story. You talk about Kerry Von Erich. We're in St. Louis, and that's when the Playboy Club was open. And so me and Kerry, I knew Kerry really well. I knew all the Von Erichs from Texas, right? And so anyway, Kerry and me go down to the Playboy Club, and guess who we meet up with? Sheena Easton I was already dealing with, and Kerry Von Erich, we met Stevie Nicks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went out with Stevie Nicks. Kerry did.
That damn Kerry could get with them women, though.
Yeah, he was a big son of a gun. That Terry. I mean, he was muscled up.
Hey, who's that you're in the ring with right there? Can you see it?
Boy. Oh yeah, that's that old El Tejano. He's gonna get his ass torn up.
Side suplex. Mansfield goes immediately after Tejano through the ropes down to the floor. Mansfield says, "Well, I want to go get a shower and maybe go get us something to eat. I'm going to try to get this over with." There's a side breaker. Mansfield working on young El Tejano.
Those were the days, Marty.
That knee drop you did there at the end, bro, I could never do that. I did it one time when I first started in Kansas City. And I heard, I was new. And when I did that, I heard the first row ringside holler, "That was fake. We saw that," because I missed it by about 2 inches. I didn't ever even try it again. That's what I tell my students. If you can't do it, don't.
You know something? Let me tell you something, you Rexall cowboy. You're nothing. When I'm finished riding your butt, boy, you're going to need a plastic settle when I get through with you.
Talking about
Casey,
that.
You are nothing.
Scott Casey.
You're a patty pounder. And all you cowboys out there.
A what?
Patty pounder.
Patty
Patty
pounder is.
pounder.
Casey, you
Gate Caballero.
in my business. One time too many. And I am the one and the only. The Continental lover. A woman's pet and a man's regret. $100,000 smile. A $400,000 bank account. I got Playgirl magazine calling me every day saying, "Lover, please, why don't you pose in Playgirl?" But let me tell you something, Scott Casey. You think because I tore one cowboy hat up that I'm through. You stuck your nose in my business twice. So I stuck my foot through your poor little old cowboy hat. Because you're not a cowboy. You're nothing but an old goat roper. So you just take in consideration that I do not back down from anybody because I'm the one and the only, the Continental lover, a rich woman's lover, and a poor girl's dream, and nothing but 230 pounds of twisting steel and oozing with sex appeal. So you bring your booty on anytime, anywhere, whether it be nose to nose and toes to toes, kung fu or boogaloo. First I'm going to chase you around the place, and then I'm going to erase your face, and then you'll have to leave in disgrace.
Spoken like the true Continental lover.
Yeah, you changed that later to the Rexall Rangers.
Well, I did the Rexall Ranger first, and then I came out with Nanny Goat Rider.
Nanny Goat Rider, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I did one of my interviews with him. I go, yeah, I was driving down over by this ranch the other day in San Antonio, and who did I see out there trying to ride a nanny goat? But Scott Casey. I said, I've never seen a cowboy since I hit the state of Texas. All you bunch of nanny goat riders out here, old bogus John Travolta looking some bitches. I mean, I hit them hard. And I always tell these guys today, if you're going to be a heel, be a heel. Talk about it. You know, don't be afraid to get some heat. Hell, you want some damn heat. But You know, you heard.
Well, they're
you
too
heard
eager
that.
to sign autographs today, from what I've seen.
Well, I'm
I
not.
can't.
You're gonna love this. So I'm looking out in the Hemisphere Arena, and that's where the Alamo Dome is. Scott and me held that you know we drew the largest crowd in San Antonio wrestling history and held it for 11 years. And so I'm standing outside the locker room, and this kid comes running up. Hey, can I have your autograph? I said, sure, here. And so I signed Best Wishes, Scott Casey. And I handed it to him, and he went running off. He goes, that's not you, that's Scott Casey. God, I can't believe he did that to me. And so I just grinned and went back in the locker room. But if you're going to be a heel, you got to be a heel 24/7.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I guess that means we're getting towards the end here. What you got coming up immediately, Eddie?
Well, I'm here in Orlando, Florida, just prepping to go to Texas to do the country music series, and then right after that, I'm trying to get prepped at the same time. Death of a Porn Star as well. So if I can get,
you got to keep me up with that one.
Yeah, well, both of them are going to be hit series, and you will see and hear where they are because there'll be national shows.
That'd be good. Get me on the Porn Star one.
I'm not going to go there with you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to behave myself.
Well, it was great talking with you on here. You know, we talk every day almost, but good to finally get you on here, and I wish you continued success. And do your thing, brother. That
Hey, just remember,
Lover.
Marty, your damn ratings just went through the roof with the Continental Lover Eddie Mansfield on there because they always want to hear what I got to say. And
right.
I was real easy today. I didn't really wind it up a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
you that was a tame Eddie today. You started getting there, and I thought, here he comes.
Yeah, I kind of reeled it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want to frighten them on the first time, you know. It's like, hey.
All right, brother. All right, so I'll talk to you soon, but we'll get you on here again sometime if you can.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Real quick, what happened to the Braves?
The Braves. Oh, well,
This year.
you know, I'm going to tell you that all you baseball fans remember this. The Major League Baseball is not a sprint; it's a marathon. So they got plenty of time to correct this.
I think they will too.
Yeah, it'll be okay. They can't get any worse.
And y'all hearing this from Eddie. Eddie was a pitcher under the best pitching coach, Leo Mazzoni. I think he's the best coach ever, pitching coach.
Yeah.
And then you got hurt, and that gave us Eddie Mansfield, the Continental Lover.
Yeah, that's where my life went. What the hell are you doing, son? But Marty, I love you and I appreciate you guys so much, and you're doing a great job here. And Party with Marty is going to be a huge hit. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. We'll get you again. All right. Well, God bless you, and we'll see you soon. And everybody else on here, you know the deal. Next week, Thursday, 10 o'clock. Same damn time, same damn place. See you there.
Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching the Party with Marty.